welcome everyone. Thanks for joining. We are now beginning the Reservoir Hill Association General Membership Meeting. Welcome. It's Tuesday, January 10th, 2023. Happy New Year to all my neighbors, and welcome to the Reservoir Hill Association General Membership Meeting. As usual, we start with our board reports, which I will say ahead of time, they're probably pretty short because a lot of us have been on holiday. And then we're going to go into discussion where we have one presenter today, and that's from the Department of Transportation. They're going to be talking about the Utah bike lane and any other transportation concerns that we have in the neighborhood that we would like to ask some questions around, but specifically about the bike lane. And then we're going to end with any announcements for the neighborhood. Anyone in the meeting tonight is more than welcome to share any information that they would like to share with the group. And at that time, after that point, we will adjourn the meeting. So we'll begin with our board reports. I have really nothing to report because it's the beginning of the year. It's the second week of the year, and I haven't really done anything but enjoyed time with my family and restarted for the new year. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday, a wonderful break, and I will give my time to the rest of the board who actually have things to report. Jerika, do you have anything to share with the group?
No, other than we know tomorrow the General Assembly for the state, it will be reporting back tomorrow. So if we have anything that we want our legislators, the senator and absentee delegates to look into, please reach out to them at their office, now in Annapolis. That's it.
Okay. Thank you, Jerika. Chet, I think this is an old report, so I'm going to skip this. I don't think this is the up-to-date financial report, so I'm going to skip Chet's slide. Rolando, safety.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rolando Maxwell, head of the safety and security. I really don't have anything to report. I will pass on the Saturday event issue to Jenny.
Actually, Lauren's next, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right. Lauren Muhammad.
I'm here with you. I'm here. I don't have anything to report, but I'd like to say Happy New Year to everybody. It's great to be seen. And it's great to see all these beautiful neighbors here together today.
And Lauren, what I think everyone is seeing is a really beautiful setup of our community cleanup that happened last weekend. The community, a lot of people came together to clean Linden by the park on Ducatel and up Linden all the way up to Whitelock. We had really great participation, and so what we're seeing is some before and after pictures. I know, Lauren, you were not able to be there in that moment, but you were there because over and over we kept saying, what would Lauren do? And honestly, so when we were cleaning up these leaves, instead of doing the thing that I would have probably done, which is bag it all up and toss it, I was like, no, we have to think of the flora and the fauna and the biome. We got to keep the leaves and we got to put it back in the tree bed. And I was like, what are you doing with those leaves? So you were there.
Oh my goodness, yes.
We did our part to preserve that part of our biome and look at the trees. And we noted a couple of tree beds that we will come back to that needed a little bit more love, but a lot of work that a lot of people did in cleaning up embedded poop bags and trash and all sorts of things. It really transformed the neighborhood. So shout out to everyone that was able to attend that cleanup. And then also shout out to people that have been maintaining the park. So a lot of conversations about what we could do as residents of the neighborhood to steward that park a little bit better and give it the love and support it needs. But thanks to everyone for supporting the first cleanup in the neighborhood of the year. I see hands up from Daryl and Rolando, so I will step back. Daryl, did you have something to share? You're on mute.
I was going to say that even in billing the event, or actually in billing the after of the event, the marketing says with Green Chair Ms. Lauren Muhammad's mantras ringing in our ears, we set forward to. So you were even in the wrap up as well. So we heeded your words. Thank you.
Thank you guys, but thank you also for the prayers and the support that I've been getting from the RHA family. My grandson is in intensive care. He's 19 years old. He needs a heart transplant. He's been in there since before Christmas. It's been a really long time for us. So thank you for everybody who has been compassionate, sympathetic, has called me, texted me, and sent me virtual love. I'm grateful. Thanks.
Thank you, Lauren. Our prayers are always with you, and certainly RHA is a community. You know, we're a family and we try to look out for each other. We all have to lean on each other at some point. So I know that when it's my turn, you're always there. So we're all glad to be there for you. Rolando, did you have something to share?
Yeah, I just wanted to correct that it went from Chansey Street down to Ducatel. That we started from,
Oh,
you know,
right.
the
Right. Above
dream.
White Lock. That's right.
Right.
Right. Mhm. Okay. All right. So I think we will continue on. We have, oh, sorry, I see a comment in the chat that Lily said, I have to admit that walking the students up Linden from Dorothy I Height to St. Francis Neighborhood Center today, the street was still looking incredible. Thanks for all your hard work. Thanks, Lily. We really appreciate that.
That's good.
Yes, very good to hear. Okay, Janae, you're up.
Yep. Thank you. I'll just take a few minutes and echo all the thank yous from before for everyone in the neighborhood. We had great representation from new neighbors, including somebody that was out at 7. And we also had representation from men of Reservoir Hill, Friends of German Park. Just everyone came out and really supported these efforts. And so hopefully we can continue forward with something similar in the months to come. And thank you, Rolando, for all of your efforts around organizing and making sure that we were thorough in our cleanup and efforts. So I don't have much for this year, but this is a snapshot into last year, just reminding us of all the things that we did over the past 12 months. Because as you're in it, sometimes you kind of forget everything that you've done in the prior time frame. So we are in the planning phases for 2023. And so we'll be sending out some correspondence and connecting with others in the neighborhood to begin our planning and execution for ways to bring the community together, uplift our community, and spotlight Reservoir Hill for 2023. So thank you in advance for everyone's attendance and effort, and let's do it again. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Janae. You really did accomplish so much this past year, and just thinking of all those memories is so wonderful. So thank you for all your work and dedication in making that possible, even with incredible, insane timelines. So with all the things that you do in your life. So I'll move on to Daryl, if there's anything you want to share.
Yes, I've prepared a small slideshow. If I could have the screen.
You should have the ability to do it now.
Okay. All right. Let me get everything out of the way there. Slideshow. No? Okay. This is year-end review through, can't tell how loud I'm talking, through the digital media lens. Digital media production basically fell into two types: marketing media for the meetings that we had, meetings of others. And then the second category is digital media for specific events. In marketing media, we produced a variety of marketing media throughout the year. We produced specific material for each standing committee, and we produced varied material depending on the social media platform. So that means that a Facebook post image is a different size from a square Instagram image, which is a different size from, and so we tailored our social media messaging for specific social media platforms, for specific social media platforms. So here is marketing media for events committee. Here is planning and development committee down here. Here is marketing and green committee, and this one over here wasn't. Well, no, that is us. That's our meet and greet for the November meeting. Here is the green committee, more planning, and there's another poster for the cleanup at Dorothy I. Height. We supported other organizations. There is UWIMNA, there is WINATA, and I know these all now by the top of off the top of my head now, including dates for everything. I never thought I'd be that person. Marketing media, we produced a variety of marketing media supporting other organizations, and we developed templating to support other organizations while still crediting Reservoir Hill Association for what it is that we're doing. So there's an example of St. Francis cleanup with the Reservoir Hill. And here's an example of we were working with supporting the White Lock Farm Garden Party. So we took the Weaver Awards portion of Olu Butterfly's page, and then we added the garden party image, and then we took more information from Instagram in order to quote her. So that's the type of materials that we produced. We produced materials in having to resize. We produced materials where we did the background ourselves. So all this is original in support of our newsletter. Here are posters from Department of Transportation. The one on the left is from an individual who was developing and wanted to let us know when the water would be out. And then I went to spotlight the Home and Garden virtual tour. We produced 4 segments in the garden with Master Gardener, Ms. Lauren Muhammad. We did approximately 50 separate photo shoots spanning a few weeks. Met and interviewed the event founder, Paul Gittner, produced 30 to 60 second promos for the event, and interviewed one of our RHA members and early tour participants. And these are screenshots of the different promos that were produced for the event. Here are screenshots of In the Garden with Lauren Muhammad. And then the second spotlight I did was for 2001 Park Avenue request for proposals, because that was a large carrier. And in order for us to produce the desired result, which is to give the information to the Reservoir Hill residents, it took a Herculean effort insofar as coming up with different ways to get the information out. But we did produce a 60-second video on the 2001 Park Avenue property history and the companies that were presenting proposals, divided the presentations into segments so people could just watch that, and produced other materials concerning the proposals and information that Reservoir Hill needed. Here is postering, and here's a screenshot of the video. Moving forward, we're just going to continue to produce better materials that are going to get eyeballs, materials that are going to grow social media accounts, materials that are going to get individuals to meetings, to committees. And we're going to follow the lead of Rolando with the cleanup, and we're going to print more materials and hand them out. And we're going to continue to produce the best materials that we can in support of what it is that we're doing and for others. This particular graphic is original from the background, which is just a page of a dictionary page photo of the word justice. And then we put the typography in here, and the picture of Dr. King that was free license, and then just blew it up and then put some wording down here. And so we're going to again continue to produce high quality material, and we're going to use that material to get individuals interested in what it is we're doing and participate in what it is that we're doing. So this is what we're excited about 2023. And with that, I will pass it back.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Daryl. We are going to shift to Arlen, your report. I'm going to put that back on the screen.
Okay. All right. I see that Jarvis was here. Yeah, Jarvis is still here. Good, good. My understanding is that, first of all, Happy New Year to everyone. Good to see the faces again. Don't want to just dive right in. Maryland Park North, I have it on good word that the first models will be completed by April 2023. I was shocked to hear that, but that's what I've been told, and they said it's definitely going to happen. Jarvis and James Torrance forwarded a letter to the BMZA regarding the virtual meetings. Their point was that since all the other organizations are doing it, the BMZA should as well. I haven't heard a final word back from that as of yet. Regarding 2001 Park Avenue, that was awarded to Mayberry. That was the community design element of a market. They have 90 days to review the aspects with the city. And as we discussed during the board meeting, that's actually falls on March the 13th. It is on my calendar, so it will pop up and I'll be able to follow up at that time. I did briefly discuss that with James, and we'll see what I'm not really sure what the dynamics behind that are, but we'll find out as we go. As far as I'm going to skip chat updates because I know Rolando has quite a bit there. So let me just get through these ones right here. I was hoping someone from Linden was available to give me an update on 2026. If there's anyone here that knows, has the activity subsided, I noticed that it has been boarded up again, but I haven't heard anything about any activity as far as renovation or anything of that nature. The request for the funding for the Madison Whitelock Park was submitted via CPI. Rolando noticed that and he sent me a screenshot of the funding. It stated probably double the price that we'll actually need, but during that particular meeting, they stated that they were requesting more than they needed in hopes of getting what they actually need. So we'll see how that goes. DOT for the Reservoir Hill area, we were supposed to have a meeting with DOT and our councilman and other members regarding a community-wide effort. I'm not sure what the DOT is discussing tonight. Is that it or not? No, okay. So we'll follow up with that. And I just saw this today. There will be a forum on January the 13th with Alice Kennedy, and she will discuss the ordinance issues, anything you have to do that has to do with housing. We have several issues there. I think last meeting I discussed that it came to my attention that the actual ordinances are written that the proprietors only need one trash can and one recycling can per building if it's like a standard house. So I'm going to bring that up. And I'm sorry that I missed the cleanup Saturday. I was at the state legislative session that was on Utah Place. They're actually looking for volunteers who have the time and more than that, the desire to hold certain posts within the state. If you're interested in that, just contact me and I'll send it out to you so you can look at what the postings are there. And just a few things to clean up. Speaking of cleanup, a member of Upper Utah Madison was to have reached out regarding dumpsters, because I think we really need to get things coordinated between all the groups. It doesn't really make a lot of sense for us to have a dumpster here and then you may have a dumpster in another area as well. I know we don't have a trash committee yet, and I think that would be a great fill-in for whoever wants to do that so they can coordinate the dumpsters throughout the neighborhood. Also, I guess this is more so towards events. I've been getting emails regarding the trolley tour. And again, I don't think that makes a lot of sense just to concentrate that on 2 streets. I will forward that to that committee, and hopefully we can get a more inclusive response to them. And that's about all that one more thing. The Winata issue, of course, that was canceled tonight. We mentioned that. Hopefully we'll get some more updates from them. I don't know where that stands at this moment. I'm going to follow up with that issue and see what's going on with that. That's it. And Rolando, Chap, I'll turn the floor over to you.
I think we're skipping the CHAP updates today because Rolando is now the safety chair. And so it's an important thing to bring up. Actually, we're looking for someone to chair both the CHAP committee, or not CHAP committee, the Historic Architecture and Historic Districts Committee, and as well as step up in the role of secretary. So those are 2 open board positions now. And so if you are interested in joining the board, please do reach out to board@reservoirhillassociation.org or contact@reservoirhillassociation.org and let us know. Thank you.
I see Brandy has volunteered for a committee there.
Brandy, please, would love
that.
So just reach out, and what we would ask is that you would just join the next board meeting, and our process is you just introduce yourself to the board, explain why you would want. We've never had the situation where there was a competition. It's basically volunteer, like stepping in, I'm willing to give my time to this. have
Mhm.
the energy. So if you feel that way, our next board meeting is the 17th at 7 p.m. on Tuesday. And if you're not able to make that time, because of course that's next week, you can also
Mhm.
let us know.
Okay, I'll make a plan to be there. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so without further ado, I would like to welcome members from the Department of Transportation. I'd like to make a big shout out to Eric James, who arranged this meeting for us and made sure that it happened. There was a lot of back and forth with me. I was not a great communicator in the last 2 months, really. So thank you for making that happen. And thank you for Patrick for staying. He has a conflict actually at this time, and he has made himself available. So thank you for the both of you for accommodating us and making time for us. And do you need, I'm going to stop my share. Do you need, Patrick, do you need access to do a slideshow or anything like that?
Yes, actually I do. Thank you. I'm technically meeting with my church small group right now.
Okay.
So my pastor literally texted me. It's like, hey man, where you at? I was like, I got a work thing. So but all things aside, seriously, I'm here to listen to you all and really learn about this project. I will need to drive, so if you can give me that responsibility, I certainly will. But before we, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I passed it to you, so you should have the ability now.
Okay, sweet. Let me get my jitters out. So yeah, everyone, thank you for having me today. Happy New Year. Happy Tuesday. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen to show you the presentation that I have open. Give me 1 second here. All right. I'm gonna stop that, do it again. I think I heard that Rolando is here on the meeting. Is that true?
Yes, I'm here.
How you doing, brother? Been a while since we've seen each other.
Yes, we got to get together. I forgot
Yeah.
what floor you're on. So just leave in the chat your floor and I'll stop by. And
I
we
can
can
tell you
have a
right. I can
conversation.
tell you right now that I'm on the 5th floor.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
All right, everyone. Let's go ahead and get started. Again, my name is Patrick Monroe Patterson. I am the current planner for this project. My predecessor, Matthew Hendrickson, he actually resigned last November. I don't know if that's good news or bad news for people, but I'm the new guy, so try not to beat me up too bad. That stated, my current background with this project or the projects in this area is the bicycle boulevard that is on Madison Avenue. I am the project manager for that. I have been speaking to the Madison Park Improvement Association, their presidents, as well as the Utah Marshburn Elementary School, the representatives on that side. That stated, that is the southern end of the project, and we are here to talk about the northern end, which is the Utah Place, Madison Avenue, north of North Avenue. Real quick, I don't know if I'm tripping or not, but did all the cameras just go off for everybody that's attending here, or is am I not seeing people?
No, you should see people. Maybe the view. Let me see.
Yeah, give me a sec.
It's
Give me
probably
a second.
because you're presenting. So if you click view and then
Okay.
you click like side by side gallery, it might show you. Or another option, I don't know what kind of computer you are on, but if you go into your window and click view, it will say show participants.
Okay.
It's a little when you're presenting, it looks a little different. You can't see people as well.
Oh man, I don't want to waste y'all's time because of this technical issue, but it really would just like mean something to me if I could see people.
Okay.
Let me try to.
If you send me the presentation, I can also
Oh, I got it.
Presenting and you can see, okay.
I got it. Here we go. It's just that, virtual meetings are convenient, but they're not very personable. And I take issue with that. But anyway, so here we are. Without further ado, the presentation that I put together today. All right, Utah Place update, Reservoir Hill Association meeting. Again, thank you all for meeting with me and Eric. And click. All right, so the first section that we're going to look at is Utah Place, which is North Avenue to Chauncey Avenue towards Druid Hill Park. And actually, before I even get started, so the key message that I do want to present here is I am here to present the project in its current state, but the bigger message here is that we're actually going to be putting this project on pause. The reason being that there is a lot of questions that need to be answered that we currently do not have answers to. That being how much listening did the previous planning process actually have? That is something that we need to identify. That's for the northern end and the southern end. We also understand that there are numerous elected officials that have their concerns about how the project has been planned and where it currently is. For me, I am an AICP planner, and therefore I serve the public interest, and the planning process is very important to me. So therefore, as the current project manager and bike planner, I want to do whatever I can to listen to you all, to update the plan as is. But that stated, the current project, as I'm about to show it to you, is not final. The project overall is on pause. If you have questions for me, feel free to hit me in the chat. I assume that I have a helper on the RHA side, in addition to Eric James. That will really help me. I need a quarterback. Can't be a running back without it. So moving on, Utah Place. So the first section we'll look at is North Avenue to Chauncey Avenue. That's towards Druid Hill Park. All right, so lots of pictures and engineering drawings. All right, let's get oriented here. All right, so this is Chauncey Avenue. We're looking towards Chauncey Avenue. That's Druid Hill Park. And going back the other way is North Avenue. This is the street as it currently exists. We have parallel parking on this side and the bike lane between the driving lane and parking lane, as shown by 1, 2, and 3. So you see it 1, 2, 3. What is proposed is this back-end parking, 2, off-curb parking, 3, bike lane between parking and the curb. The 2 driving lanes that are existing, we propose that they be changed to back-end parking to increase the effective traffic calming and safety. The other reason being that it will increase the number of parking spaces along that street. All right, now we're at the intersection of Whitelock, heading again, let's see, North Avenue, looking towards the intersection with Whitelock. So here's Utah Place, looking to Whitelock. So what exists is pull-in parking, a bike lane between the driving lane and the parking lane, and on-curb parking. What is proposed is back-end parking, off-curb parking, and the bike lane between parking and the curb. Moving on, we're looking at the intersection towards DeCattle Street. Someone please correct me. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Ducatel.
Ducatel. All right, Ducatel Street. Thank you for your grace. So the existing is pull-in parking, bike lane between driving lane and parking, on-curb parking. On-curb parking. Proposed is back-end parking, off-curb parking, and bike lane between parking and curb. And at the intersection of Utah Place and North Avenue, the most, I guess, largest change, if we can call it that, will be green skips denoted by this black crosswalk looking thing. And this is an example at Mount Royal Avenue and Maryland Avenue. These are green skips. What these do is denote to drivers, people who are walking, people who are taking the bus, etc., that bicyclists can cross the street, or not even can, I mean, legally they can do everything that a car does, but more so to signify that bicyclists do use this road, therefore watch out. Green means go, bicyclists may be going through this intersection. All right, moving on. Now we're looking at Madison Avenue, and that's going to be Hedler, again, correct me, Hindler Lane. Fantastic, hooked on phonics. Hindler Lane to North Avenue. We're looking away from Druid Hill Park. All right, so again, what exists, existing picture versus proposed picture, Hindler Lane, Brooks Lane. Existing is pull-in parking, bike lane between driving lane and parking. Yeah, bike lane, okay, and then on curb parking. And the proposed is pretty much mirrored onto Madison Avenue here. Now we're looking towards Whitelock Street. Again, this is looking south away from Druid Hill Park. We have currently pull-in parking, bike lane here between driving lane and parking. And again, on curb parking proposed, it'll be the same thing as stated before, back-end parking, off-curb parking, bike lane between parking and curb. And now this is looking away from Whitelock Street and towards North Avenue, denoted by this drawing, Whitelock heading towards North Avenue. Again, pull-in parking, bike lane between driving lane and parking. Look, I'm sorry if this is getting kind of repetitive, I'm sorry, I'm trying. I can't make it more entertaining than this. This is engineering and planning. Anyway, bike lane between driving lane and parking, on curb parking. Proposed the same as previously stated. All right, now we are looking at the existing intersection from Madison Avenue onto North Avenue. What exists is parallel parking on both sides of the street. I put on street bike Cheryl, but that's incorrect. There is currently a bike lane here. So my apologies, that is incorrect. I will correct that with the presentation that I will send you if you request it. Anyway, proposed back-end parking, off-curb parking. I'm sorry. What's proposed now is back-end parking, off-curb parking, and a bike lane between parking and curb. So essentially this parking would come out here and that bike lane would go there, and then that would be the curb. And then the green skips. And that's everything. So I'm here to take questions and comments because I know they're there, and I'll do my best to, well, capture them. And if I don't, let me know. I see that there's an Arlen Colors. Again, yeah, please correct me. Do not feel sorry. Yes.
You got that one right. You got that one right.
Awesome. Thank you.
The space between the parking and the bike lane, is there going to be like a physical, like a concrete division there, or is this going to be a painted line, or what?
It'll be a painted boundary. It won't be concrete.
Okay. Well, I know this is all kind of evolving, but it just seems to me that people will not stop at that line when they park, and they will block the bike curves unless we have something to actually block them.
Right. So I guess the standard practice, as has been in DOT in Baltimore in past years, has been flex posts, but I can't confirm if flex posts are going to be put here. I don't think so. I'd have to go back and check the plan. But currently, as I understand it, it is striping. Those kind of look like flex posts, but I'd have to talk to the engineers. I do understand that that is something that the community does not want, especially in the Reservoir Hill area because it's so historic. But yeah, to answer your question, there's no physical concrete barriers being put in.
Yeah, we were under the impression that there was additional funding for this particular project that came from additional funds from the federal government. I don't know if that's true. We were kind of waiting for some feedback about that, I think.
Yeah, you know, Kendra, I remember you bringing up that point when Matt was on the call or was presenting this a while back about whether this was a federally funded project or not. What I learned is that this was a state-funded project. It's through the MDOT, Maryland Department of Transportation, Kim Lafayette Bikeways Network Program. That's a state program that provides funds to local jurisdictions and et cetera to address gaps in bike networks. The funding that they receive is from the state and it's not federal.
Okay. So I know, thank you for clarifying and looking into that. I appreciate that. So I know one concern that people shared is that the Reservoir Hill community was originally constructed almost like a gateway into Druid Hill Park. And so I'm assuming and hope that the city is also hoping that people will use this bike lane to enter into the park and really think of it as a green pathway, connecting all the other bike lanes throughout the city. And so what we've heard was that the best practices were that there is an actual physical barrier between bikes and vehicles to protect bikers and make sure that they feel safe using those bike lanes. So I don't know. I know that Rolando Maxwell was in conversation with Lauren Shiznick, with CHAP, in considering historically appropriate physical barriers between the bike lanes and vehicular traffic. But I think that's something that the community would definitely be interested in exploring, ways that we can really demarcate those spaces, because a lot of people in our neighborhood actually are bikers, are into biking. They like to bike. They like to use the bikeways and certainly our park. And so the more that we can increase safety for children growing up in the neighborhood, people in the city broadly, but people that want to enter the park, as we're investing so much money in making safer travel into the park a priority. I wonder if the city can really, as this is on pause, really think of the ways that we can fund this so that it has a long-term impact on the way that people enter Druid Hill Park and use these bike lanes in that way.
Of course. And I think that those are really good points, that cement or concrete barriers does, how you say, it does increase the quality and type of facility. It makes it safer, it looks prettier, and it lasts longer. I mean, I don't like hitting my cars into concrete bumps, so you know, it is what it is. What I just did here, do not pay attention to all of the measurements. This is just me playing around. But essentially, this is how I created the renderings that are on the presentation. And what you just saw me do was take that barrier. Come on now. Come on. We are getting there. All right. So I did a stripe buffer. You see how that looks to that. So that's being recorded. That note is taken. I have written it into my notes. I am happy to hear that there is support for a bike project through Reservoir Hill. That is encouraging. That makes me happy. That will make my job easier. I do understand that the road is long before we can actually get this built, but that at least makes me happy. And so I'll follow up on that and see if we can build maybe a coalition or some type of support from there.
And I'm going to pass it on to Janae because her hand is up, but can you give us a sense, because the pause is occurring, what that timeline is now looking like? What is the cycle for understanding the timeline even? Is it a budgetary pause? Is it because council has just is going back into session and they have decisions to make? What is the pause about?
Sure. The pause really heads back to your elected officials. The elected officials looked at the planning process, and DOT internally, we looked at our own planning process and said, okay, we recognize that this project was done quickly and done at a time when I guess projects were done quickly during the pandemic and during COVID and things like that. And we have to slow this down. It's the only way that we're going to win favor for more projects as we go into West Baltimore. In regards to funding, funding has already been spent for this project. The grant that was received has already been reimbursed by the state. So in regards to funding, I guess I'm funded to help you. But in regards to state funds, there are none that are set aside for this project at this point. But I think the more important part is that we have paused it and that we're going to listen and make sure that what is built is done right, because this corridor, the Utah Place corridor, is very important to actually start building more bike facilities into West Baltimore. And I know that there's nothing there. And the stuff that it is there is not high quality. So we have to figure it out and we have to get something done, but we can only get it done through the communities that will live with it. So.
Okay, Janae.
Thank you so much for the presentation. And I would like to take you up on your offer to get a copy of the slides. So thank you in advance. And I am a bit directionally challenged, but I really appreciate all of the visual aids that you shared during the presentation. They helped tremendously. Can you help me with understanding the back-end parking, the current orientation, and then the current orientation is forward parking, to make it into angled back-end parking? How would that, how does it change the orientation coming from someone that has challenges around north, south, east, and west, etc.? Can you help me with that? And I'm sure you said it.
No, I mean, like, I talk a lot, but I probably didn't say enough. So in regards to the parking, the orientation, okay, so I have it here. Maybe one way that I can show this is, so we have Utah Place here, right? Now work with me, this is technology, it could be a little slow. So this is a parking lane right here.
Yeah.
I believe we have it at a 45, nope, sorry. A 135 degree angle, or maybe not, maybe about, let's just say it's slanted this way.
Got it.
Okay, so it's slanted that way. Cars drive down the street going this way.
Yes.
So as you currently do it, you drive your car. I'm gonna do this. Check this out. This is gonna be kind of cool. So that's a car. I mean, that's what a designer thinks a car looks like.
Love it.
So that's a car. As you drive, you turn and boom, you park like that, right? What we're proposing, oh my goodness, calm down. Okay, so what we're proposing is to flip that to that, right? So people are like, oh my goodness, how do I navigate this? So the way that you navigate that, and this is for people that don't have backup cameras or who do, you drive past the parking space, you adjust your camera or you adjust your mirrors, and you then, I'm doing my best here, everyone. You back in that way. It sounds like a foreign concept, but once you start it, it's not very difficult. It just feels weird. I mean, I will tell you, it feels strange. But once you get it down, it is a superior way to park, because what ends up happening is now you can actually see cars that are coming down towards you. You can see bicyclists that are coming down toward you because you're driving, right? And let's say, I'm backing in, right? I'm driving, I back in, right? I can do it again. I'll do it. So I'm driving forward and then I back in, right? Now I can see left and right. I don't have to turn my head to back up, right? I can more clearly see what's in front of me and around me. The other benefit of this sort of backing in is that if you have kids or you have nieces and nephews or friends and family, when you open the doors of your car, truck, vehicle, SUV, smart car, whatever, those doors are now going to open towards the street. And when you get out of that car, that's going to channel those kids, that young person, back towards the sidewalk instead of funneling them back into the street. So there's benefits to this, right? So like another way to look at this. Come on, Zoom. Get out of my way. Okay, anyway, going back to the presentation. So you see this car here? If this door opens up, people will then be funneled back to the sidewalk, versus if the car was the other way, the door will open up and people will be funneled back towards the street.
Yep.
So that's the kind of like the safety benefit of back-end parking, and why in some instances it's superior to pull-in parking.
Yep.
Additionally, I'm sorry, I asked you a question. I'm about to provide too much information.
Yeah, no, it's super helpful, and I understand. And Hamden has a similar parking design, so I've seen it in action. But thank you so much, super, super helpful. I appreciate it.
Awesome, that
Thank
makes me
you.
happy. I'm trying.
The visuals are really helpful, so thank you for coming prepared with those. I see a hand up from Maurice Braxton.
Maurice.
Yeah, I was just gonna make a comment. I mean, just as Janae said, yes, Hamden does have this design, and you showing Madison, I mean, I would welcome this, because the way cars speed down the street, this would give it an opportunity to slow people down, since they won't give us a speed camera or speed bumps or what have you. So it would just so much safer. Backing out right now is like playing Russian roulette. So, and I don't have a backup camera because I have a 2006 Honda Accord. So.
Hey, shout out. Hey, that's Fast and Furious vintage.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, thank you so much for that comment, Maurice. And it makes me think about what we can do with this pause, right? Like if we're having a pause in this period, just to remind everybody on the call, we are hoping to do a neighborhood vision plan with
Nice.
the Community Design Center, and they will be working with us hopefully over the next year to do that. So one thing that I think would be a priority for not only the city, but also for RHA is to make sure that everyone feels included in understanding the benefits of this change, because I know in previous years, before my time in the neighborhood, there was a lot of conflict in changing the parking pattern. So I can see that as a potential point of friction for these changes. So I would love to have conversations with DOT to really figure out how we can make sure everyone feels included in these conversations, and that they feel as if they can have buy-in into this change. I don't know if that friction will still exist. Obviously on this call right now, a lot of people are really supportive. I feel very good about it, but I do know historically it's been a problem. So I just want to make sure that in this pause, we can make sure that we're including as many people as we can in that conversation. Sorry, anyone else have questions? My daughter has a burning one. So.
Uh-oh. Funny. Can I go see my church yet? Can I go say hello to my church family? Am I still here?
Just real quick, there is positive reception towards the angled parking above North Avenue and Utah Place.
Mm-hmm.
I've been receiving quite a few emails regarding the embracement of that. So Maybe we can grease the
Send those to me.
rails a little bit more there.
Send those to me, please. Like, you know, in all seriousness, so you all live in this community. And I want to make sure that whatever DOT does, we do correctly. One. Two, DOT has a history, and this is before I was born, before probably a lot of people on this call was born. DOT has a history of doing things without community input. And if we can call this a victory and we're listening to you all and there is support, please forward it to us. Projects like this are difficult, but from what I understand, it's probably more lack of communication than it is people not wanting it. I do know that there are challenges with different types of facilities, and that's just by nature of changing the roads. But if there is support in your community for this project as is, or this section as is, please send it forward. It would really help me out. It will help our liaisons out, and really help us to speak to your elected officials and get this into the ground.
Can we get your email address?
Oh, but of course. My email address, actually, Eric, do you mind typing that in for them? Well, actually, before you type in my email address, do we have the DOT community email inbox?
Give me a second, I'll add it to the chat.
Okay, yeah, that'll be the more appropriate way to contact me. Because I'll be honest, I don't want everybody blowing me up. I'll listen to you. I want you to talk to me, but I receive like 75 emails a day. So, if our communications team can take care of that for me, it would really help me out more.
So
It looks like there's a comment from Brandy regarding some construction money. I'm not sure what it's about. I'm assuming it's for the bike lanes.
Yeah, that was just maybe for a future reference. It looks like a Maryland state program that supports multimodal transportation solutions in cities, and it seemed like an opportunity. Maybe one of us, myself or someone else, can do some research to see how we might leverage that program to get money to support a protected bike lane. I'm in agreement that the protected bike lane is really the only solution for a bike lane, especially on a street as busy as Utah. So it's really a bookmarker for future reference for funding sources.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, send me that support for protected bike lane. I need to hear more of that. That's good. No, seriously, Brandy, thank you. And Brandy, how do I pronounce your last name?
Do you want to know, or I mean, it's Savarese.
Savarese.
Yeah, perfect. Bravo. Yeah.
Listen, bravo. See, it looked like you were judging me before I even could respond.
No, it's not that. It's just I never know if I should, pronounce it or if I should just, say it in English. So
be proud. That's how I say.
I am. Thank you.
Be brown and proud. I mean, I'm just assuming you can be whatever color you are and proud. Anyway, I am a representative of DOT, and I am doing what I can to present the correct information. Anyway, sorry. I got too comfortable.
No, you're good. Rolando, you have a question just before I pass the mic to you. I was also going to just share that Councilman Torrance and Councilman Torrance's office, including Javas, has so kindly offered to host a meeting with multiple agencies to discuss our streets. Arlen was referencing that earlier in the meeting, so I just wanted to expand on that, where we kind of want to look at a bird's eye view because there's so many projects at the same time happening on our major thoroughfares. North Avenue, there's major changes happening there on Park Lake Drive, the bike lane, potentially with 2001 Park Avenue, if that actually turns into a food hall. Those are major, changes in our neighborhood. So one thing that we've heard and really thought about is how we can look at our streets in a more holistic way so that these we're not redoing our streets every 2
Yes.
years. And that we really have an idea, okay, these are the pieces of the puzzle really coming together. It's not just random, oh, we have this project, so we're going to spend this money this way, and we have this
Yeah.
project. But that we know that eventually at the end of all of this, we're going to have a really we already have a wonderful neighborhood to walk around and really enjoy the beauty of our neighborhood, but that there will be multiple ways to enjoy our neighborhood on foot, on bike, by car, and by public transportation in a way that we really know, okay, what is the next 10 years really going to look like? The next 15 years are going to look like. And so I just wanted to say that out loud so people understand where RHA stands as far as what we're hoping to happen is just really looking at our neighborhood more holistically and having more holistic planning around that. So Rolando, your comment next.
Thank you. Great presentation, Patrick. I only have one question is, are these bike lane one way following the direction of the traffic, or are they two way out? And we also have runners in the neighborhood. Would there a lane for runners, people that want to run or walk?
Sure. So bringing the presentation back up, it would be a one-way bike lane to go with traffic. A bike lane that would go against traffic would be called a contraflow bike lane. Not to get too technical, but it simply means going back the other way. That sort of bike lane is not being proposed. As for people who walk, run, jog, pogo stick, and stuff like that, do what you want. We can't stop you. But seriously, if you want to run, jog in the bike lane, please do. If it's safer than the sidewalk, cool. I don't know. To answer your question is yes, that person can or whatever have you. Yeah.
So runners would continue to use the sidewalk pretty much to run
I mean, if they want to duke it out with a bicyclist or a wheelchair or a scooter, I mean, I'm not gonna, take that opportunity away from them. But yes, you can jog in the bike lane if you want to. I actually, I think it's interesting that you bring that up. Sorry, I'm a jokester. Class clown has been one for a long time, but you can jog in a bike lane if you wanted to. And I think with the context of Druid Hill Park being very near, if that is the use of the context of your neighborhood, then by all means, jog in the bike lane. That's the type of people who live in your community. And these lanes, the road is yours. We're just here to try to make it safer and to provide more ways for people to be able to ride, bike, walk, drive more safely throughout the city. So please, yeah, do what you want. And if you need like a rendering or something like that of like somebody jogging, I'm pretty sure somebody can put that together.
Okay, it is my duty to ask questions, even for people that aren't here that I've heard raised to me. So I know that you're the bike planner and you might not be able to answer this particular question, but folks who live on Linden, who face Dorothy Height, so this is completely outside of the Utah bike lane conversation, so I want to prime you for that, have vocalized a concern about the way that the drop-off has been happening for students in the morning. And so I just wanted to share that with your office, just so that you know that that is a concern for neighbors. They're saying at the drop-off time, which I believe is 8 in the morning or maybe 7 in the morning, it's very hectic. And they think it's unsafe for the students. And so I just wanted to share that. I don't have firsthand knowledge or understanding. If anyone on the call lives on Linden, that on that street that faces Dorothy Height, it says John Eager Howard on this map, but that is the school I'm talking about, and the entryway. So Dorothy Height is the entryway to Dorothy Height is closer to Linden. The front entrance is off of Linden. So they've just been having some concerns with the way that drop-off operates. And so I wanted to flag that. I don't know if if DOT is aware of that concern, or if anyone has been able to reach your office with that concern, but I wanted to make sure that we didn't leave the call without sharing that. And that's certainly something we can go delve into in that larger conversation that deals with our streets. I know we wanted to focus on Utah, but I felt like it was appropriate to bring that to your attention.
Keandra, this is Eric James. I know for London by Dorothy Heights, there has been several concerns in reference to for traffic calming by the school, but no one has ever reached out to, at least has reached out to me in reference to drop off and pick up at the school. So
Okay, thank you.
I did put I got a promotion, so I no longer have District 7. Shaquetta, who wanted to be here tonight, but there was a meeting in Medfield that she had to attend with Councilman Torrance this evening. So she wasn't able to attend, but I did put her information in the chat. And I can also let her know that that's an issue and bring it up with our traffic team to see what they can come up with, or see if we need to do a site visit to come out and observe.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Arlen.
Yeah, just in follow-up, I got a message saying that DOT and planning are shooting for February for that DOT meeting with Reservoir Hill, and no specific date as of yet, but they're shooting for February instead of January.
Thank you so much for that.
Is that what the which department is that?
That's what our office, that's what Councilman Torrance's office, planning department, and DOT, and as well as the various Reservoir Hill community organizations. So everybody, and we're shooting for sometime early February.
Sounds cool. Could I be invited to that?
Yes, of course. We were talking. Hi, this is Javis Patrick from Councilman Torrance's office. But I had talked about this with Eric and Liam prior to your introduction. But of course, yeah, definitely will include you.
Awesome. Were you on the call from Friday?
Yes. So second time I'm hearing the presentation, but thank you.
See, this is why people got to turn on their cameras. Okay, I won't pick on you. Hey, Javis, thank you. You should have my email. Just look me up on Global on Outlook.
I have it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, thank you so much. Getting work done in the meeting. I love it. And so I think because we are at time, and I know that you are at your church meeting, thank you for giving your time to us and taking the time and not rushing through the presentation, even though you have this conflict tonight. I really appreciate it. I think for the rest of the group, if we have any additional questions of DOT, knowing that we now have that February date, if you can email either Arlen directly at pdc@reservoirhillassociation.org or the entire board, we're happy to receive the email at board@reservoirhillassociation.org. Any transportation issues or concerns that you have on your block. Obviously, we are neighbors, and so particular concerns on your block is a concern for everyone, but we're not always aware of the issues that you face unless you share them with us. So if there are things that you've noticed, stop signs that you're like, why isn't there a stop sign here? I feel unsafe driving here, or whatever the case might be, please do share that with us so that we can be prepared to be the best liaisons with the city at that February meeting. So
not to cut you off, but can you also please forward that information to Shaquetta Wallace also? That way she can start working on the issues or getting them investigated. So, instead of waiting till the February meeting, we can get the ball rolling right as soon as possible.
thank you, Eric. That's really helpful. We always are trying to figure out what the best way, some agencies really don't like when we send things one at a time. Rolando has gotten feedback, for instance, that, just hold it all together for the whole for 3 months and give me something every quarter. So
Well,
it's
the reason why I say do not do that for DOT, because we get hundreds of requests for traffic calming daily. So the longer you wait, the longer it'll take.
okay.
And we do also ask, like, if you do send us something, to please call 311 or enter it into 311 and send that along with
Thank
your email. So we'll have that number also.
Thank you so much. And so who we should be emailing is our liaison. So it was previously you. I'm sorry to hear that
Yes.
you're no longer our liaison, but
I'm still around though. So I mean,
Okay.
you can always reach out to me if
Thank
you have any questions also.
Okay.
And like right now, I'm asking everybody to CC me along with Shaquetta,
Okay.
just in case, because she used to work in Councilman Schleifer's office. So she's not new to the city, but she's
Okay.
still kind of new to DOT.
Okay.
So I'm trying to help her as much as possible. I know District 7 has a lot of issues throughout the district that we're trying to help Councilman Torrance get resolved. So, you know, it'll be good to also CC me on it so I can help her out along the way.
Thank you. So I just want to repeat and reiterate, because one of the issues that a lot of residents face is they, you know, when they're faced with a problem, they just don't know what to do. So if there's a specific traffic related issue that's under the purview of DOT, report it to 311 and then follow that up with a direct email to our liaison with that complaint number.
Yes.
Just so that they know how to reference it, and really do that immediately. Don't wait. Don't
Yes,
wait.
and also send it to Jobbers, because that way the council office can track it also.
Okay. Okay. And CC Jobbers. Okay.
Mhm.
Awesome. That's very helpful. And, you know, as we're updating our website, we're going to try to include that kind of information of who our representatives are and who our contacts in the community are. But that's a work in progress. So it might not be immediate. So we'll try to send out that email information to the group so everyone has that as well.
Yes, no problem.
Okay. So thank you so much. Eric, Patrick, is there anything else before we transition out of our meeting tonight?
Yes. So someone asked me, what is AICP? American Institute Certified Planner. That's what AICP stands for. Essentially what it is a nationwide independent verification of planners' qualifications. Certified planners pledge to uphold the high standards of practice, ethics, and professional conduct, and to keep their skills sharp and up to date by continuously pursuing advanced professional education. That